Morning Show, Wild 94.1 Bay's Party Station. Meredith went on a field trip.
Yeah.
And went to Cape Canaveral, took the Minions out there. Did Anthony go?
Yeah.
Everybody went and had rocket ships behind you and all the pictures and all that other stuff.
It was so fun. I've always wanted to go to Kennedy Space Center. I've always loved anything that had to do with like the solar system or outer space or anything.
Is it okay? So you said Kennedy Space Center. I said Cape Canaveral. What's the difference?
It's located out there.
So Cape Canaveral is the city.
Yeah, it's in that area.
Mm-hmm. All right. Okay. I always get that wrong.
But it's so large. NASA, like Kennedy Space Center in general, it's so big. You saw, I believe it's called Origins, the Blue Origins. You saw SpaceX, which you got to drive by during a little bus trip in the beginning. And then, to go see and learn about the Apollo missions and then standing next to all these rockets and everything. It was just so cool. It's very interactive and it's great for the family. So I'm happy that I took the kids because they actually had a great time, which I was concerned because it can be like a little too educational sometimes when you go to stuff like that. And it is, but also it was so informative that when we got back home and the astronauts were coming back down to Earth, Aubrey saw it when she turned on the TV and she sat there for an hour watching it unprompted. I didn't tell her to do it, but she was all interested in it. So it was really cool.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's dope.
Yeah.
Did Olivia enjoy it as much? Because,
Yes.
she's younger.
Yes. So there's a lot of play areas and slides, which is, also interactive for the kids and learning. She's all into learning about the solar system. She loves Saturn right now and the rings. And we were going back and forth about information. So
Let her know that we call Saturn the J-Lo of the planets.
why?
Got a lot of rings. Dad joke for the win.
And you talk about me.
I had to squeeze the dad joke in there. I bet you Olivia will find it funny.
Yeah, it was. I really liked it out there. It was so much fun. There was one thing that was very. I wasn't looking for it. It's just something that I kind of noticed. So I wanted. I guess I have a question. I don't really know if I should ask or how to ask it.
What?
So there were certain types of people that were at Kennedy Space Center, and then there were certain types of people that were missing.
Yeah, there's
a demographic.
There's no black people at Kennedy Space Station.
Is that what you wondered?
Yeah, I didn't see any.
Meredith.
What? It's true. I was walking around, and by the end of the day, I was like, Anthony.
It's actually very true. There's not a lot of minorities that go to the Kennedy Space Station.
Well, I will say there were two that were very prevalent there. I would say Caucasians were there, and then also Asians were there. And we were all learning and walking around having a good time. And I swear to you, I didn't notice it. It wasn't like I was looking for it. But then I think it kind of hit me. I was walking around. I was like, where are all the black people?
You ain't seen nobody doing no electric slide. And then is that what it was? Trust me, it's not like, black people aren't in the aeronautical sciences or whatever. But
yeah.
Go ahead.
It's kind of like, all right, field trip, sure.
Right.
Vacation, nah. The black people are not going.
You ever been there? Hold on. You ever been there?
Black people not going there on vacation.
Have you ever been there?
I went there for the launch of, what was it? We went over there from campus. So it was a really long time ago.
So it was
but
a field trip?
We went for a launch. It wasn't a field trip. It was just a bunch of people who wanted to go watch it from, because we were in college. So it was like, it wasn't a field trip.
Okay.
It was more like a weekend.
Have you ever taken your girls, I guess, your daughters?
I've never taken my daughters.
Okay.
And I mean, it probably would be a cool trip.
Yeah.
And get them some extra credit that they probably need.
So the workers there were a lot of diverse workers there, I will say. And again, I wasn't looking for it, but it kind of just hit me when I was like looking around. And then I went to, SeaWorld the next day, and then there's very diverse there. And so I did hit me.
I thought she was about to say, and there was the black people. they were at SeaWorld.
But it was just, I wanted to know, can anybody answer me? Like, is that not interesting to, I don't know if I'm allowed to ask.
I mean, listen, as I will let the people speak. A63 says, I'm black and my cousin from Plant City works at the Space Center for years. No, so yes,
I wasn't
Meredith.
talking about workers.
Yeah.
No, I'm not talking about people that work
Meredith's
there.
like, I saw your cousin.
I mentioned that.
She's saying that she's not saying that they're not there at all. She's just saying that there's a scarcity.
813 says, we go to Carnival Cruise. It's not Cape Canaveral. Elaine says they trying to erase black people from everything anyway. Oh my Lord. Let's see. Now I will tell you, I would enjoy going, but I do think that it's more of a learning thing. It's more of like hey, you're spring break and you're going to the library to find a nice book. That's what it feels like to go to.
It's cooler than that. It's so much cooler. No, but you haven't been in a while. I mean, to stand next to, Discovery, to stand next to these shuttles that we made, it also makes you feel kind of patriotic in a sense as well, just to see everything and how large everything is. It's just, it was very cool. It is educational, but you'll enjoy it if you ever take the girls. Trust me.
All right. So we're going to take a break here because, I have a question too.
Oh.
Meredith, your question is valid.
Okay.
And people are answering, yeah, no. So I got a question as well. I'm gonna hit this off and come back and ask it after Tommy Richmond. Hold on. Meredith is getting an education to diversity as far as aeronautics.
Yes, and I'm
people
happy
are
to
explaining. Somebody, would you tell them the answer that you got?
Yeah, we're not really fond of outer space. Earth is bad enough.
My question is, I was telling people, they were asking me where you were, and I kept saying you were at Kennedy Space Center. And I firmly believe, like most people, when we say things out in front of these phones, it starts sending you stuff. Because now all of a sudden, I'm getting NASA, and I'm getting the Butch and Sonny coming back from the space station, and it's a barrage of stuff. Mm-hmm. And there was one page, Ray.Gun357, that got my attention because this dude was like, it started it off with, you got to be a dumb son of a bitch. And I was like, what? He's like, 1969.
Right.
Think back. He's like, we had cars that didn't have AC in them, didn't even have power windows in them. He's like, no color TV at the time. He's like, no mobile service or nothing like that, just landlines. He's like, and all of a sudden, we have two astronauts being told to us on TV that they have strapped themselves to a big ass bottle rocket and landed on this lunar, surface and got out and played hopscotch in front of the camera. Well, he's like, who was shooting the camera that was taping these guys out there? He's like, and then they just miraculously, with no kind of infrastructure, just blasted off and then landed back on Earth, and we believe that happened. And I was sitting there watching it as he was telling the story, and I'm like, have we been fooled, bamboozled? Have we been led astray that this? Because I'm like, how many people out there actually still now as an adult believe that this happened? Because there's a growing number of people out here who are saying that we were just tricked with Hollywood trickery.
We didn't land on the moon.
It was all well. Let me take that back. The rumor
I was just there.
The urban legend is that it is all propaganda so that we could make Russia go bankrupt trying to go to space before us.
Well, there was a space war that was going on.
Yeah.
So you just went there. Do you feel like we were lied to?
Okay, so my honest opinion, and everybody's totally different about all this stuff. So I feel like there was a backup plan of a studio and all that stuff in case it didn't work. So I feel like it was both, but that we actually went.
Wait, you feel like they thought if it would have failed, we would have had to fake it and do the movie version?
Yes. Yeah, essentially, yeah. Because
so
America
you think
wanted
what
to
they
beat
saw
the
on
Russians.
TV was real?
I think that we actually went, yeah, personally speaking, especially after going there 2 days ago. But I feel like we 100% had a backup plan, which would be smart just in case something went wrong or we didn't reach our goal or, there was a malfunction with the video camera or something like that. I feel like that's the smartest thought process for me.
One thing he asked, he was like, how did the president talk to Buzz Aldrin and them on a landline? He's like he picked up a landline in the White House and talked to them.
Well, it got connected to NASA. Well, it's kind of like our board. NASA is connecting to the astronauts up in space that are on the moon, and then the president just calls in. Don't you have
to have a satellite for that?
They had satellites. They had satellites all before. See, that's the thing. You get to learn. It wasn't they just created a space shuttle in a year or two. This took 12, 13, 14 years.
Yeah, this was Kennedy.
Right. Exactly. In order to build all that stuff.
Yeah, they always say that the military and everything is 30 years ahead of us.
Well, okay, I know that. Now, my guy who works at the State Department told me there are things that we had in the Korean War that you would be shocked. He's like, we had mobile phones. They were just for the military. They weren't out for sale.
Right.
But I still am worried that I feel like I've been duped because, like, it was like, man, the world wasn't there yet. And then all of a sudden he's like the camera shots of them driving that little dune buggy.
Right.
He's like, because you think they took off. Where did the dune, like, they left the dune buggy and all of that stuff that they was doing. They left all that on the moon.
Space trash. Who's gonna tell them to pick it up?
Like, I mean, I don't think we just leave stuff on the moon. Like, you know what I mean? Like that. How you just gonna take off?
Right.
And you had, like, where did the dune buggy come from?
There's actually a movie about this. Channing Tatum was just in it.
With Scarlett Johansson.
Yeah, and it's all about this.
Mm-hmm.
But is that a worthy question to ask, or is it silly to ask?
No,
because you
good.
just visited and you saw the shuttle.
I did.
So there was not enough room in there for a dune buggy and beach balls and all the other stuff. You just had two dudes in there just took off, and all of a sudden they got damn near road rules up there on the moon.
My theory is that we've went eventually. I think between them we have went, but I think that moon landing, I think that was doctored.
We had to show up the Russians.
Yeah, we had to pop out.
Somebody said, just go to the Space Center. Haven't you heard? We're not allowed.
No, it's not that you're not allowed.
Meredith just gave us a whole speech about black people can't go to Cape Canaveral. Cape Canaveral is Latin for no black people.
If anything, she's trying to promote it so that more minorities go.
Really am. And you went for the day, right? Just
by
yourself?
I actually went a couple of years ago to see the SpaceX launching.
Okay.
That was the reason why. And I thought it was one of the coolest experiences ever. You got to go super early in the morning to go see it. But I want to read this one text out of the 813. It says, the moon landing is as real as those ads saying local single MILFs in your area.
Wait, those aren't real? The ones that got their phone numbers is real. I'm going to find one. All right, wait. So this says out of the 86. Really, those aren't real?
No.
I mean, Rich would know.
Okay. All right. So out of the 863. All right. I'm not. Y'all not going to block Bible lesson. All right. It says, my grandpa always believed that they had just taken the astronauts out to the west and into the desert and filmed, and he never believed that we actually went to the moon.
Yeah, there's different theories. I mean, I'm not going to sign up to that one. If anything, you want it in a controlled area. I mean, there are different things about the video that people break down, like why is there a flag blowing in the wind? You know, interesting.
That was another thing that was on there. So you've seen this.
But I have.
Because they was like, there's no wind.
But I like all this
There's
stuff,
no wind in space.
No.
Right.
So they're like, so how is the flag flapping in the wind like Superman standing next to it?
There's an explanation by NASA for all this stuff. I don't know, but in my theory, this is just what I believe. I believe that we actually went, and then I honestly believe that there was a backup plan, Hollywood style, to make sure that we would show up the Russians.
This is showing me why black people ain't there, Meredith.
Well, this is fun. You go ahead.
This is showing me why we not there, though.
Why?
Because America built on
because that right there. Because that right there. Because as they giving y'all the speech with like 40 y'all just up there with your pens and pads, like, yeah, it's gonna be one brother in the back talking about, man, y'all need to miss me with this old bull. Like, see, you know what I'm saying? We don't be believing stuff like that.
People are coming in with the conspiracy theories now. It was filmed at Area 51. There's
Maybe
no
that's
way.
the desert they were talking about.
Yeah, it is also.
Out of the 941, I'm Mexican, and the last time I went to Kennedy Space Center, only Hispanic I saw was a worker working the churro cart. I should have read that ahead of time before I read it online.
They said y'all gonna have the government on y'all case after this. I know they ain't gonna ask me nothing, but Meredith gonna be in trouble because she in here giving out trade secrets.
Hey, it's cool, man. I honestly think that you do one day out there. We stayed in Orlando, so we just drove 50 minutes to Kennedy Space Center and then drove back to our hotel. That's what I would highly recommend instead of staying out there. And then just go to a couple theme parks afterwards. It's spring break.
Somebody said how they could hear them on the moon loud and clear, but I still can't get good cell service anywhere that I go. That's what I'm saying too. Yeah. That was like way back, and it was so crystal clear. It's like, man,
they're saying the imprint of the on the moon of the boots don't even match.
Okay, yeah.
Now I don't know how real that is.
I mean, there's a lot of things you can break down about it if you want to believe or not. I liked it though. I like the people trying to debunk everything. I enjoy both.
I just I wanted to ask you that because after seeing it, I wanted to know if you left there and thought, all right, yeah, this really could have happened.
Yes. But although they didn't talk about the Hollywood thing that I mentioned, that's just something that
Dude,
I was thinking about.
I'm loving these.
It's cool. It's all the conspiracies. Yeah, it's very cool. And now you
all right,
need
so
to go.
listen, all black people, we're having a meeting at Kennedy Space Center. Okay, there's gonna be a bid whiz tournament.
What?
You don't know how to play bid?
What's bit?
Never mind.
If you loved that video, then you're going to want to check out more. Make sure you hit subscribe right below.